People, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. It is great to see you. Great to see you. Welcome to drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. And today I have a great opportunity for all of us to speak with a brother for whom I have tremendous respect. Many times you've heard me mention Nuri Muhammad on this platform, and we are blessed to have him here today to have just a fun, intelligent, well-rounded, all Black conversation. So if you, as you come in, if you could join me in greeting my good brother, Mr. Nuri Muhammad. How you doing today, man?
Oh man, I'm doing good. Feeling good. Thankful for life, health, and guidance, and really excited to share space and time with one of the greatest freedom fighters and warriors for our people that we've produced in many centuries, the great Dr. Boyce Watkins. So I'm happy to be in sharing space and time with you, my brother and mighty warrior and comrade in this struggle. You know, there was a study, Dr. Boyce, that Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu revealed in his multiple books countering the conspiracy to destroy Black boys. But he found in his study and research from the University of Michigan that in the 50s, the top three influential forces in a Black child's life was home, church, and school. But by the time you made it into 2007 and 8, that home had been hijacked, church was gone, and school had no effect on the decision-making process of young Black children or teenagers. Guess what took its spot? Number one, peers. Number two, social media. And then number three, the lyrics found in music. So by the time you get finished with peers, music, and social media, this means that the young mind is being fed by another young mind that is not connected to the wisdom and counsel of the elders of the previous generation, because the rappers are young. The people you follow on social media you follow people like yourself. So the young, you're looking at a timeline of young people, and all your peers are the people you kick it with. They're young. So what happens, as Jesus said, when the blind lead the blind? Both of them gonna fall in a ditch. So that mathematics, it was done intentional, where they hijacked the divine authority of shaping and molding Black children's mind, which should be mama and daddy, and then those institutions of reinforcement, which be religious houses and educational facilities. Those don't have juice no more with the young mind. So peers, social media, and hip hop is the only thing I'm making my decisions off of. So I'm bound, to be in a bad situation. So those brothers and sisters, as you said, that break out of their box, and this is the truth. Like I know, Dr. Boyce, that whenever all the daytime struggle is over, when you laying down in the quietness of the night, sometime, I don't know about you, but I reflect on what I could have did, should have did, or would have done, where I would be if I had did certain things when I was young. And then I come to the realization I can't go back in time and fix it. But I know some young brothers and sisters that are the age I wish I could go back to. So I never take speaking engagements in no city unless the people that are inviting me can guarantee I'm going to be able to get into a high school, a junior high school, or an elementary school, or many of them. Because at the end of the day, somebody has to go into the mind of these young soldiers and really debunk the self-destructive, self-defeating thoughts that have been dropped in their mind by spirit killers, aspiration assassins, and dream snatchers, and redo it and validate them, encourage them, where they'll start knowing, you know what? Let me get away from just listening to people that's on the same level as me, and let me find my uncles, my aunties. Maybe they don't live with me, but let me find somebody that has been where I'm trying to go so that I can get there faster than they got there. So that's the math, That's what happened. We got our spots hijacked, and it was done intentionally by our enemy. And we got to come as parents and take it back.
You said spirit killers, aspiration snatchers. Is that right?
Aspiration assassins and dream snatchers.
Okay, aspiration assassins and dream snatchers, and that acronym is SAD. That SAD.
Wow.
So yeah, I remember things, brother, with acronyms.
Wow.
And I was taking notes.
You multiply that SAD, spirit killers, aspiration assassins, and dream snatchers. Multiply that SAD by the other SAD, the standard American diet. And when you put them two together, we got a concoction and a recipe for disaster.
I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken back by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. At this point, my industry colleague who had first opened the meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promotes criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room.
Wow.
So and I'm gonna say this. You know, when I talk to you and you talk to me, we call each other brother. You know, I was talking to Sister Taryn earlier today, one of the producers and helpers on your staff. I call her sister. See, if I'm Sister Taryn's brother and she's my sister, that means my son is her nephew and her daughter is my niece. So when we really start identifying one another as brothers and sisters, then we take on a family problem concept and we began to look out for one another. And you'll be surprised. Sometimes your son and daughter can get a message better from their uncle or auntie than they can from the father or the mother. But if we get to that point or return to that point where we start calling each other brothers and sisters, and then by proxy, calling our children each other's nephews and nieces, then we're going to do everything we can, every opportunity we get to pull their coattail to help them to go on the right path. And we might find ourselves back in that number one spot where they'll be leaning on wise adults that can help guide their life.
I agree with what Brother Nuri is saying when he says we have to become the school system for our children. We are the school system. Ain't no Chicago public schools. I ain't worried about that. I look at the Nation of Islam. I went to the Muhammad University of Islam, and there is no dilemma about how do we educate these black children. We just can't figure it out. You know, they say, well, we just don't know that 1 million black boys can't read at grade level. We don't know what to do. Well, they know what to do. They just go visit the Muhammad University of Islam. Those young people were asking me questions. They were 13 years old, asking me questions that graduate students ask. So just stop it. They playing games with y'all. Now let me go ahead and just show y'all in terms of the notes I was taking with what Brother Nuri said. And this is a good way to help you remember this. I use acronyms to remember things. He said that according to that study by Jawanza Kunjufu, the 3 influences, pay attention now. I need y'all to let me know. Give me a yes if you're hearing this. The 3 primary influences of black boys particularly were school, church, and home. School, church, and home. That's SCH. First 3 letters of the word scholar is SCH. Right? That's how I'm going to remember that. Right? So we were making them into scholars by school, church, home. Then it got replaced by peers, music, and social media. Well, so they took your boys from SCH and they gave them PMS. So now, so now a lot of your black boys are out here PMSing because they've given them this concoction, as the brother mentions, that is making them into something other than what they are meant to be. God did not design the black man to be running around here having PMS. Okay,
come on now, come on.
So if you want to remember what Brother Nuri was sharing, because I was sitting here taking notes. When I tell y'all I listen to this brother, I really do. I'm literally writing things down. I want y'all to carry this away with you. Share this with the people in your family, because we can do this. These influences don't have to have any influence over us if we don't allow it to. And so I'm going to slow down and be quiet because I've talked enough. What would you consider to be the state of black leadership, and where do you think black leadership can go in a way that could be very positive for the community? What are your thoughts?
Well, it's unfortunately, we how can I say it? The poorest use of time is to do really well what need not be done at all. And most of our leadership are guilty of having the poorest use of time. We spend too much effort and energy trying to repair the system and not enough energy trying to replace it. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said what I'm saying in this way. He said, do for self or suffer the consequences. So right now we are at that phase where you keep in mind that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said this almost 80 years ago now. Here we are being told do for self or suffer the consequences. Well, how long can someone tell you do for self and it not get to that second phase where you're suffering the consequences? Our effort and energy, what's handicapping black leadership is that they're not trying to replace, they're only trying to repair. They're always trying to figure out how can we fight, protest, boycott, ask, beg, call on, vote in, vote out. What can we do to make ourselves fit in to something better? At what point, if you standing there holding your arms up, asking somebody to embrace you, how long would you be standing there asking somebody to embrace you before your arms get tired and say, you know what? This is a waste of time. Here I am holding my hands out, asking for somebody to embrace me and treat me equal. And I've been doing this for 450 years. Maybe I can use these arms to build something for self since they're tired standing still doing nothing but begging anyway. So we've got to graduate, Dr. Boyce, from trying to repair to trying to replace. We've got to graduate from begging to building. And the minute that anytime I hear anybody in leadership and all they're talking about is voting or getting more justice and rights from a system, I immediately turn off that station. If you're not talking, I don't care whether or not that they let my children in their school. Go build your own. I don't care whether or not that they won't treat us fair at this facility. Well, hell, build your own facility. The hospitals are racist. Well, hell, stop going. So that's the point. The point is that the crisis of leadership comes because everybody, as a general rule, there's not a lot of black leaders. There's a lot of African American leaders.
I like that.
There's a big difference between an African American and a black man. African Americans are trying to fit in. African Americans are trying to repair. African Americans love to beg, but black people, they want to replace. Black people want to build. They don't want to be second-class citizens in somebody else's house. Black people want to have their own home that they can call their own. I think it was Billie Holiday. It was a little before my time, but did she say something about mama may have?
Yeah, I don't remember the exact words, but
And Papa may have, but God bless the child that has its own.
there you go.
So if you're in leadership, stop begging. If you're in leadership, stop wasting so much energy trying to repair and fit in, and start investing your time and energy building something for self. You don't like the way they treat you? Well, then replace it. The school ain't right, replace it. You don't like the way that they handle you in the court? Well, replace it with your own conflict resolution centers in the environment you live in. Whatever problem you have, stop asking them and begging them to be better towards you, and do something for self, and let's be better. So that's the crisis. That's the crisis. And I found out this, Dr. Boyce. I went and seen some of the college degrees that people have. And I took it out the case and flipped it over. And no matter what the degree was on the front, on the back, almost all the degrees were in fit-in-ology. You said something the other day. Colleges do not produce Black wealth.
No, they don't.
Colleges increase white wealth, because at the end of the day, you leave with the goal of fitting in and upholding white supremacy and finding you the best place you can inside of it. Never thinking about building for self. So that math has to change. And until that math changes, the new generation of our people, we're not listening to nobody that's trying to get a bigger piece of the American pie. We want somebody that's wanting to get the land to plant the trees, to grow the apples, that can get the wheat out the ground and then come inside with our own ovens and make our own pie.
Remember, if you are the family, you are the school system. You are the economic system. You can be the family bank. You can be all these things that you think society gives to you. You can have that in your own house. You are the institution. And I want everybody to practice thinking that way, so that you'll feel empowered enough to go and do what you got to do. So thank you very much, Brother Nuri. It was real. All right. And everybody, hit that thumbs up button on your way out. And don't forget to follow Nuri on social media at Nuri Muhammad. God bless everybody. I'm going to take me a nap. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.